This is Continuum. Continuum is a cross-institutional patient memory layer that is built on the Cognee Cloud. In under-resourced healthcare, for example, rural clinics and community health centers, patients tend to see a different doctor every visit, and this leads to no shared records between these two different or more than one hospital that patients tend to go to. So, for example, a patient gets diagnosed in March and shows up somewhere else in August, and the new doctor has to start from scratch. So, Continuum fixes that, and it does it while giving patients real control over their own data. Now, the tech stack. The custom is built with three different services. The front end is built with React and Tailwind. The back end is built with Express and TypeScript, with Prisma on the Postgres, on the Neon Postgres. While the Cognee service, which is the one that handles everything related to Cognee, is built using the Python Fast API service that wraps around the Cognee Cloud. The voice note goes through Gemini, and the scanned documents also go through Gemini 2.5 Flash with Sierra. The files are saved on Cloudinary, and every fragment carries full provenance, institution, author, timestamp, SHA-256 integrity hash, and Cognee Cloud is doing the actual reasoning across all. Let's start from the patient's side. So this is the patient's portal. I'm going to log in with this account. Control their own data before anything reaches the clinician. So a patient can set visibility for sensitive categories: mental health notes, clinician only, reproductive health, hidden unless emergency, HIV status, emergency only. They can see exactly which institutions have active access to their record, and they can also revoke them instantly. Like a live audit trail every time someone accesses their records, when and from when. So the patient is never in the dark here. So I'm going to first select the patient. So I'm going to select this patient here. And this is where you can um, submit an access request. You can see the institutions that have access to it. It's read only. You can see some other things here. This is medicine only, vaccination only. I recently requested for break glass access, where I was able to get access to this HIV status. And you can see that here. If I go to the timeline, you can see that, oh, it's true. But if I were to log in with another account, let me go back to the Clinician app, Clinician, the patient selected the 9. You can see here, I see something hidden validation consent. If I move over to the timeline, you see here that it's only one that I have here. So now let me show you the core of what Continuum does. So right now I'm going to go back to hospital A. So I'm going to commit a clinical note. Now what it just did is that it used Continuum to commit it and then also add it to the graph. Now I'm going to go back to hospital B. I'm going to choose a different patient. I'm going to choose this second Now you can see here, we have like three different patients with the same name, but they all have different IDs, and that can actually happen when people have the same name. So I want to show you because I've already prefilled it with a lot of student data. So I'm going to come here. Now this is the knowledge graph. So the reason it's made visible here, the patient's knowledge graph growing live as the fragments land. Every node is a fragment or a visit. So every edge is something that's Cognee connected. This is how Cognee recall works. I asked it a question and it does return one. And if we actually check the timeline, we would see that yes, here you can see it here. It also returns this. Normally this is not how the timeline looks, but because I have recalled, I leave and come back. See that 17 fragments, but when I checked it before, it got just only one. So then here's the conflict center. Here I already marked it under review. This is resolved, and I also added an explanation. So it's very concise. Once mark it as resolved, I have to write what I did to make it resolved. So the next doctor downloads from Ghana. So Cognee Cloud is what makes all of this real. Cognee remembers scopes per patient across every institution. Cognee recall doing the cross-institutional reasoning that no vector database alone can do. Continuum is SDG3, continuity of care for patients. The system forgets. The technical problem is solved. The patient has control. The clinician has accountability, and Cognee holds the memory.